Ladies and gentlemen, the academic procession will enter shortly. You are kindly requested to stand. Bomma le botate, molokoloko wa dirutegi o tla tsena mo nakong ye kopana. Le gopelwa go ema.
Kragtens die bevoegdheid aan my toevertrou, stel ek hierdie vergadering saam as 'n wettige kongregasie van die Universiteit van Pretoria. Tydens hierdie kongregasie geskied die uitreiking van diplomas en die toekenning van grade aan kandidaate wie se name op die program verskyn met al die regte en voorregte daaraan verbonde. Ladies and gentlemen, by the powers vested in me, I hereby constitute this assembly as a legal congregation of the University of Pretoria. During this assembly, diplomas and degrees with all the associated rights and privileges will be awarded and conferred on the candidates whose names appear in the program. Please take your seats. Dames en here, ek versoek 'n oomblik van stille gebed of meditasie uit die dankbaarheid vir die prestasies van ons studente. Ladies and gentlemen, we request you to join us in a silent prayer or meditation to give thanks for the achievements of our students. Thank you. As Vice Principal of the University of Pretoria, allow me to extend a hearty word of welcome to all present here today at this truly special event. Today we will celebrate the achievements of our students graduating from the programs in Agriculture and Food Sciences in the Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences. Allow me also to welcome our Dean of the Faculty, Professor Jean Lebuma, our Deputy Dean, Professor Mariki Potgieter, heads of academic departments, supervisors and of postgraduate students and lecturers. Welcome also to Assistant Director of Enrollment and Student Administration, Mr. Dino Swanepoel, and to the representative of the Temporary Student Committee. I also note Professor Eddie Webb, our Deputy Dean for Teaching, for Research and Postgraduate Studies. Welcome, Professor Webb. A special word of welcome then also to our representative of the Temporary Student Committee. I would like to extend a special word of welcome to our parents and family here today. Ladies and gentlemen, this ceremony would not have happened were it not be for the achievements of our students and the continuous support of their families and parents. You are our VIP guests. This ceremony is one of 30 ceremonies in the autumn graduation period. In this period, the university will award a total of 11,637 qualifications to students. And this afternoon, we are conferring 240 degrees in the faculty, of which no less than 102 are at the postgraduate level. Capacity building, ladies and gentlemen, are at the core of the vision of the University of Pretoria. And let me share with you the vision of the university for those of you that haven't read across that. UP strives to be a leading research-intensive university in Africa, recognized internationally for its quality, relevance and impact, and also for developing people, creating knowledge and making a difference locally and globally. Ladies and gentlemen, the University of Pretoria's long-term strategy, known as UP 2025, captures the cornerstones of a common vision and understanding of the university's role and identity in a context of multiple and changing circumstances, that at the national, regional, and also increasingly at an interconnected global level. The implementation of this vision by a robust agenda is guided by 5-year strategic plans and annual implementation plans. And this year, ladies and gentlemen, 2017, is the first year of the implementation of our second 5-year strategic plan towards UP 2025. Of course, the development of a new 5-year plan gave us the opportunity to assess how well we have already progressed towards the 2025 vision. I'm happy to report that based on bibliometric data of high impact research activity, high publication numbers and citations, the university has consistently maintained its position as a research leader. That means ranked amongst the top 1% universities worldwide in the following 6 broad areas: agricultural sciences, of which you are graduates here today, engineering, clinical medicine, social sciences, plant and animal sciences, ecology and the environmental sciences. The percentage of academic staff with doctoral degrees had an astonished increase from 43% in 2012 to 62.5% in 2015. That's more than a 50% increase. The total doctoral graduates outputs, and I see 9 doctoral graduates here today, increased by 66.5% from 200 in 2012 to 333 in 2015. And research publications per academic staff member almost doubled over the past 5 years. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at our student success in terms of pass rates, that has improved from just over the 80% in 2012 to 84% in 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, these indicators are important ways in which we measure our performance as a university and which we assess whether we are making the necessary progress in pursuit of our strategic goals. The environment in which higher education institutions in South Africa and globally operate is characterized by several trends which call for institutional adaptation, reform and innovation in order to thrive as vibrant institutions. These trends include demands of universities to continue to grow their student numbers. In South Africa, for example, the 2030 National Development Plan asks for the current 1.1 enrollments at universities growing to a total of 1.6 million by 2030. Another trend is that new technological innovations, including online learning methodologies, will have a profound impact on how students learn and how academics teach and conduct research. In addition, ladies and gentlemen, universities are urged to play a much more active role in fostering the advancement of their societies, hence the need for greater local impact. At a global level, there is a fierce competition amongst universities for talented students, academic staff, and resources. All these features, ladies and gentlemen, of global higher education are underpinned by an overarching trend of a decline in public financial support when measured in real terms. Thus, the challenge for University of Pretoria is one of adapting to a changing environment in order to deliver on its mandate as stated in its vision. As a responsive university, the university has formulated its strategic goals for the next 5 years to align itself with changes in the external environment, particularly those related to affordability and resourcing of higher education and transformation. A critical challenge for UP and a key focus on our new five-year plan is to ensure that the university thrives within the envisaged context of instability and complexity. This means that in order to ensure the university's sustainability and the successful execution of its core mandate of teaching, research, and impacting society, UP has to draw on its history of resilience and innovation to navigate in changing environments. Now, let me share the new 5 strategic goals. Some of them are adapted from the former 5-year plan, but number 1, to enhance access and successful student learning, to allow you to graduate, of course. 2, to strengthen the university's research and international profile. 3, to foster and sustain a transformed, inclusive and equitable university community. Goal number 4, to optimize resources and enhance institutional sustainability. And then 5, to strengthen the university's social responsiveness and impact in society. To get a bit closer to this faculty, of which research and teaching and learning is an integral part, according, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2016 outcome of the International QS ranking system of universities, UP is ranked 3rd after UCT and WITS of having 11 disciplines ranked amongst the top 300 worldwide. That's within South Africa. Agriculture, forestry, environmental sciences and biological sciences are amongst these. Also, the university has 105 researchers that are recognized by their peers as international researchers of high standing, of which 14 of them are recognized as world leaders in their disciplines. Of these 105 researchers, ladies and gentlemen, 45% are hosted in this faculty, which is quite remarkable. The research output of the faculty accounts for more than 25% of the total university outputs. This is 1 faculty out of 9. In 2016, the Institute for Food, Nutrition and Wellbeing that is housed in the faculty had many exceptional achievements which include co-authored publications across disciplines and the bringing together of extensive expertise related to food security. 7 faculties are involved, and over 55 disciplines connects to this institute. The focus, ladies and gentlemen, is on addressing food insecurity and on finding ways to build more resilient agricultural and food systems locally and regionally. The Institute co-hosts the government's Department of Science and Technology Centre of Excellence in Food Security with the University of Western Cape. As I hinted earlier, ladies and gentlemen, one barometer of the state of research at the university is the number of doctoral graduates it produces, as a doctoral degree is generally regarded as the start of a research career. Today, I see 9 doctoral graduates within the faculty, which will confer 37 doctorates in this round of ceremonies. Now, my message to our students and graduates, actually, is that today will unlock a world of uncapped potential. It is in your hands, graduates, to act now in order to shape the future of our country and continent. Your choices are limitless. Strive for greatness and make a profound difference in the world. In the words of the acclaimed author Jim Collins, quote, "Greatness is not a function of circumstance. Greatness is largely a matter of conscious choice and discipline," unquote. Let me congratulate you all and your families for the immense input that you have made to realize your achievements. I wish you all the very best for your future life journey, be it by continuing with your studies at Here at Tikkies or to reach the highest achievements or excel in the workplace when employed. For those that will enter the workplace, please remain committed to your alma mater by supporting our alumni initiatives. I thank you. I now request the Dean and Supervisors to introduce the candidates present whose names appear on the program in order in which they appear in the program. Professor Limmer.
Ms. Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science in Nutrition and Food Science. Teresa de Lima. Daniele Gemergaris. With specialization in food science, Gladness Baloy. Belinda Bevis with distinction. Adriana Duplessis with distinction. Nico Mabunda. Kamagwini Makapela. Lerato Malessa. Kwanele Maluleke with distinction. Naome Mamabolo. Mokopu Matlo. Lerato Muelu. Resokechwe Moloto. Kateklo Mosime. Adele Nietling. Asipe Nkinana. Wendy Nyaba. Gillian Oosthuizen. Karabo Rankapole. Faith Takaedzwa. Divald Est with distinction. Shannon Valley. Courtney van der Westhuizen. Anton Fenter. Ms. Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Agricultural Science with specialization in applied plant and soil science. Ingrid Bossoff with distinction. This candidate has received the South African Society for Crop Production Medal for Best BSc Agric Student in Crop Production. The prize is shared. Kara Bota. Kotse, Vencel Kotse with distinction. This candidate has received the South African Society for Crop Production Medal for Best BSc Agric Student in Crop Production. The prize is shared. Zane Coles with distinction. This candidate has received the South African Society for Crop Production Medal for Best BSc Agric Student in Crop Production. The prize is shared. Lodewijk de Hager. Andrew Faber with distinction. This candidate has received the South African Society for Crop Production Medal for the Best BSc Agric Student in Crop Science, as well as the Omnia Fertilizer Award for Best Final Year Student in Plant Production and Soil Science. Armand Starbuk. Filmi van Antwerpen. Roselle Zamudio. With specialization in agricultural economics, agribusiness management. Sifiso Mashlangu. Mamaritidi Magaresa. Linné Roos. Jody Voslo. With specialization in animal science, Lisa Bosman. Dominique Bota. Leon Bota. Yoanko Cronier. Elandri De Bruin. Yanni De Vos. Kirsty Ekinen. Andrea Asvenkel. Matthew Hughes. Harold Klingelberg. Leandri Klopper. Yanka Limper. Dennis Lochner. Eamon McLafarne. Cecilia Marais. Marne Mayer. Carla Nell. Ingrid Pryor. Petrus Skonwinkel. Emily Smith. Reinhard Stein. Emma Swart. Irmari Talliard with distinction. Julia Tlo, this candidate has received the J.J. Vinstra floating trophy for the animal science student who displayed the most zeal in both the theoretical and the practical training of the degree. Michelle van der Fever. Philip van Tonder. Bianca van Veek. Jan Verster. Carmen Walker. Marco Wasserman. Arno Veltagen. Andri Werner. Lauren Wilson. With specialization in animal science, pasture science. Jonathan Kawan. Dana Dupre. Ivan Kiev. With specialization in food science and technology, Josephine Baloy. Julia Baloy. Henry Labuscagni. Monique Rousseau. Annelise Stein. This candidate has received the SSDT Meritorious Award for a student in the Department of Food Science who achieved outstanding results and who display exceptional enthusiasm for the dairy component of the syllabus. Naomi Tamaga. Ms. Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Consumer Science with specialization in hospitality management. Carmen Baden-Ors. Mary Cotier. Donnell Duran. Andrea Grimsell. Kirsten Millar. Danielle van Gent. Sonne Felhoen. With specialization in interior merchandise, retail management. Chantal Dupre. With specialization in clothing retail management. Sasha Anderson. Saba Ashuri. Mariska Klaasens. Liz Kluter. Camogelo Dlamini. Marnie Duplessis. Clarissa Fouché. Leora Gordon with distinction. Jana Hef. Leandri Gronewald. Nicole Hanning with distinction. Amy Otson with distinction. Anne Oren. Marles Jacobs. Johanne Jansen van Rensburg. Tyler Lotz. Lara Malherbe. Chelsea Mandy. Kathleen McLerott. Lisel Meyer. Maria Mosset. Prishani Naidu. Amor Pina. Sky Pina. Bianca Rat with distinction. Israel Rat. Natalie Smith. Matthew Spence. Kitty Marie Stapelberg with distinction. Claire Trollop. Tanya van der Merwe. Junita van Rooyen. Isabel van Skalvek. Anne Verwoerd. Michela Vigliotti. Liesel Fisser. Isabel Wessels. Richard Williamson. Ashley Wortman with distinction. With specialization in foods retail management. Ellen Cook with distinction. Natasha Duplessis. Logan Hancock with distinctions. Simone Estek. Ms. Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Agriculture Honors. Cyril Keche. Pumelele Kuzwayo. Johannes Lamula. Tulani Mabuza. Nokulunga Mente. Ndishavelafi Muligwe. Tabane Mvelase. Mr. Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science Honors, with specialization in soil science, environmental soil science. Karabu Din. King Dlamini. Martin Dofling. Aubrey Mochweneng. Patti Takali, with specialization in agriculture, crop science. Anne-Marie Bressler. Simpiwe Maseko. Willem Nietling. Mandla Sibia. With specialization in wildlife science. Simone Blonsterberg. Sylvie Fuller. Anya Hrobler. Johan Enning Erbs. Cornelia van den Berg. Henry van Lelyveld. Hailey Weber. With specialization in nutrition and food science. Anel Duvenage, with distinction. Dianre Cap. With specialization in food science. Nicole Coulson. Nonzamo Dlamini. Kyla Yanker. Ursula Kana. Mojalefa Matsoso. Sibongile Ndebele. Rufaro Nduna. Poitumelo Raganzo. Abigail Smith. Mr. Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Science with specialization in wildlife management. Tamara Egelin. With specialization in food science. Nosicle Dlamini. John Gwamba, with distinction. Jeandre Johnson. Cara Nolta. Amogelang Pelekeake. Petolo Sibanda. Mr. Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Agricultural Science with specialization in agricultural economics, Abidemi Adisa. Tembumenzi Dlamini. Ikotateng Griffith. Nomonde Gwebu. Sombo Makeche. Ikaheng Maluleke. Yvonne Mashaba. Namulula Mwangana. Jan Stredom. With specialization in agricultural extension, Maria Mashlangu. Specialization in plant pathology, Catherine de Rieder. With specialization in horticulture, Mpabaleng Sam. With specialization in animal science, animal breeding and genetics, Maruska Andrews. Keto Nemutandani with distinction. With specialization in animal science, animal nutrition, Marley van Heeden. René Vermeulen. With specialization in animal science, livestock production and ecology, Tabani Mbule. Paul Tiger. With specialization in animal science, production physiology and product quality, Mabel Nkadimeng. Pokela Segobola. Mr. Vice Principal, the following candidates have qualified with all the requirements, have complied with all the requirements for the degree Magister Agrari, with specialization in agronomy, Nduduzi Sitole. With specialization in agricultural economics, Munyaradzi Majoma. With specialization in animal production management, Keleboga Mosimoniana. Mr. Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Consumer Science. Vukile Dlamini. With specialization in interior merchandise management, Marisa de Klerk. With specialization in clothing management, Sunette Skippers. Mr. Vice Principal, the supervisor will now introduce the doctoral candidates.
Mr. Vice Principal, I introduce to you Mohammed Saladin Mustafa El Hassan, who has complied with all the requirements for the degree Philosophiae Doctor with a thesis entitled Flour and Dough Properties of Sorghum Lines with Modified Endosperm Protein and Starch Characteristics, prepared under my supervision and with Professor Noshat Emmerbucks as co-supervisor. In this thesis, the candidate investigated the dough-making properties of novel biofortified, conventionally bred and transgenic sorghum lines. For the first time, it was shown that a dough with wheat gluten-like viscoelastic properties can be produced from the sorghum prolamine storage protein. This breakthrough was achieved through the application of a patented simple coassivation type process. The research indicated the possibility of using local grown sorghum as a direct substitute for wheat flour in bread making. Such a development could mitigate the adverse effect that wheat importation is having on the economies of countries in sub-Saharan Africa. Mr. Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privilege on Mohammed Mustafa El Hassan.
Mr. Vice Principal, I introduce to you Helen Fatua Makuata, who has complied with requirements for the degree Philosophiae Doctor with the thesis entitled Effects of Different Storage Conditions on Moringa oleifera Seed Ultrastructure, Viability, Oil Biochemical Properties and Content, which is prepared under my supervision and with Professor Hannes Robertson as co-supervisor. Now, this study is the first of its kind, which evaluated moringa seed oil properties as biodiesel feedstock and as cooking oil during storage. These remarkable results allow the identification of appropriate storage conditions for moringa seeds and may serve as guidelines for growers and oil and food industries. Furthermore, the possible relationships that emerged between the biochemistry, the ultrastructure, and a decline in seed quality contributed to the closing of the knowledge gap which existed on the mechanism of seed deterioration. Mr. Vice Principal, I request you to confer a degree on the candidate.
I confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on Helen Fatua Makuata.
I introduce to you Ludama Kafua Emlo, who has complied with the requirements for a degree Philosophiae Doctor with the thesis entitled Medicinal Potential of Lobostemon, Fruticosis in response to propagation and cultivation practices. Prepared under my supervision, with Professor Martin Steyn as co-supervisor, as well as Dr. Gerard Prinsloo and Dr. Ian de Bloy as external co-supervisors. Now, the study contributes greatly to the limited information available on the propagation and cultivation of the species, which should enable future commercial cultivation and prevent its extinction from the wild. Furthermore, findings on HIV, transcriptase inhibition, antimicrobial activity, as well as metabolite content have confirmed the medicinal value of this important plant. Mr. Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on a candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on Emlo Kafua Lodama.
Mr. Vice Principal, I introduce to you Godwill Madamombe, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Philosophia Doctor with a thesis entitled Yield and Quality Decline in Vegetatively Propagated Cultivar Tea under Continuous Mechanical Harvesting, prepared under my supervision and with Professors Apostolides and Steenkamp and Dr. Tesfamariam as co-supervisors. The Promovenda studied the possible causes of yield and quality decline of tea under continuous mechanical harvesting and investigated possible mitigating actions to prevent this decline. Tea industries in southern Africa are faced with acute labour shortages, and mechanical harvesting of tea is rapidly becoming the only economic option. During the study, it was demonstrated how changes in sink-source relationships within the canopy are impacted by the indiscriminate removal of foliage by the machines, and how this ultimately reduces tea bush productivity. However, it was shown that mechanical harvesting had minimal impact on physical, organoleptic, and biochemical parameters that affect black tea quality and price. Finally, the decline in yield could be mitigated against by applying higher levels of nitrogen fertilizers. This work makes a substantial contribution to the tea industries in Zimbabwe and Malawi, as through understanding the causes of yield decline of mechanical harvested tea, management actions can be taken to minimize yield reductions and ensure the sustainability of the industry. Mr. Vice Principal, I hereby request that you confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on Godwill Madamombe.
Mr. Vice Principal, I introduce to you Walter Mahahoma, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Philosophia Doctor with a thesis entitled Measurement and Modelling of Water Use of Citrus Orchards, prepared under my supervision and with Professor Annandale as co-supervisor. The Promovenda studied the dynamics of long-term transpiration of well-managed micro-irrigated citrus orchards in relation to environmental variables driving evaporation. This involved calibrating a sap flux density measurement technique in situ and subsequently using this technique to quantify long-term transpiration in summer and winter rainfall citrus-growing regions of South Africa. This measured transpiration data was used together with environmental variables monitored at the sites to test physically based models that can be used to predict transpiration across different citrus-growing regions. The modelling approaches included both a crop coefficient approach and an aerodynamic energy balance approach using canopy conductance derived from a non-linear analytical model. This work makes a substantial contribution towards estimating the volumes of water used by this important industry through the use of these models, which is critical for irrigation system design and irrigation water management. Mr. Vice Principal, I hereby request that you confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all the associated rights and privileges on Walter Mahahoma.
Mr. Vice Principal, I introduce to you Dikeledi Machunya Malachi, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Philosophy Doctor, with a thesis titled A Genomic Insight into the Diversity and Pathogenesis of Village Chickens in an Ascardia gali infested environment, prepared under my supervision and Dr. Mushadei. The Probavenda studied indigenous chickens, which are the predominant poultry species kept under extensive production systems in the rural areas of South Africa, and which are predisposed to various parasitic infections. The study presented a genomic insight into diversity and pathogenesis of village chickens and uncovered gene expression patterns and pathways involved in chicken parasite interactions during nematode infection. This was the first study to investigate the genetics of parasite resistance in village chickens. Mr. Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on Dikeledi Machunya Malachi.
Mr. Vice Principal, I introduce to you Eric Kimondo Indongo, who has complied with the requirement for the degree Philosophia Doctor with a thesis entitled Micronization and Hot Air Roasting as Pre-Treatments to Control Hard-to-Cook Phenomenon in Cowpeas, prepared under my supervision and late Professor Amanda Mina. In his thesis, the promovendus investigated the effectiveness of heat pretreatments in preventing the development of the hard-to-cook phenomenon in cowpeas. Cowpeas are an important source of affordable dietary proteins in sub-Saharan Africa. The utilization of cowpeas is, however, limited due to the development of hard-to-cook defect that results in long cooking times of their high temperature, high relative humidity storage condition experienced in the region. His research showed that the effectiveness of the heat pretreatment in preventing hard-to-cook defect mainly depend on the degree of phytase inactivation. The thesis also has contributed to the understanding of the mechanism through which heat pretreatment can be used to prevent hard-to-cook defect development. Mr. Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on Eric Kimondo Ndungu.
Mr. Vice Principal, I introduce to you Opiolua Mayowa Ogundele, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Philosophia Doctor with a thesis entitled Nutritional and Functional Properties of Soaked and Micronized Bambara Groundnut Seed and Their Flowers, prepared under my supervision and late Professor Amanda Mina. In his thesis, the candidate studied micronization, a hydrothermal processing technology to improve utilization of Bambara groundnut, an indigenous and underutilized African legume. The long cooking time required for Bambara groundnut seed contributes to their limited consumption and utilization. Micronization produces a quick cooking Bambara groundnut seed. The candidate also elucidated the possible scientific mechanism how micronization reduces the viscosity of Bambara groundnut flowers from micronized seeds. He used light and confocal laser scanning microscopy to show that denatured protein form a hydrophobic layer around starch granule to prevent starch pasting, resulting in a reduction in viscosity. The resulting flowers produce porridge with good nutritional and potential health benefits. The flour can therefore be used as ingredients in nutrient-dense food. Mr. Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on Opuluba Mayoba Ogundele. Let me ask, in conclusion, to our parents and families to congratulate all our graduates here today once more. I would also like to ask and request from our graduates to thank our parents and family for all the time that they spent supporting us all this throughout this time. Dames en here, ons het nou aan die einde van die verrigtinge gekom. U word vriendelik versoek om op te staan vir die sing van die nasionale lied. En in die plek te bly staan totdat ek die kongregasie ontbind het en die akademiese prosesie die saal verlaat. Die woorde van die nasionale lied verskyn op die buite agterkant van die program, binne agterkant. We have now come to the end of the proceedings. You are requested to stand for the singing of the national anthem and to remain standing until the assembly has been dissolved and the academic procession has left the auditorium. The words of the anthem are printed in the inside back cover of the program. Please rise.
Kondo
By the powers vested in me, I hereby dissolve this Assembly of the University of Pretoria. Kragtens die bevoegdheid aan my toevertrou, ontbind ek hierdie kongregasie van die Universiteit van Pretoria.
Gaudeamus